NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
There are people who do this mistake. They get a large lump sum amount of money as the end of service benefit. They use this money and go and buy some property, a site, a residential property, or any other property. The idea here is to generate rent using this properties what they have bought, and this will support them during their retired life, or to sell these properties at some point of time in future so that they get a better price and they can make more money out of this. Now both these thoughts have risks built into it. If you are purchasing a property for the sake of rent, remember the rental yields in India today in residential properties is just about 2%. That's way too below the bank interest rates which are prevailing as on date. So it doesn't make a great sense for you to use your retirement corpus and buy that residential property and renting it out. You also have this risk of the persons who have taken it on rent not paying you the rent. You also have the risk of not getting the rent during the dry period. That is when a tenant leaves and the time till you find a new tenant, you may not have a cash flow. So buying properties for the sake of rent using your retirement corpus is a danger that you are having within yourself. If you have bought property with the intention of selling it at a higher price at some point of time in future, it may or may not happen. Remember, you are getting older. You will not be the same person as you get older and older. You may not be able to find a buyer. People may think that you are desperate to sell the properties. So the idea that you are able to sell this property for a higher price may or may not happen. There is one another downside. See, when you buy a property, they need to be maintained. You have to pay taxes, you have to keep it in good condition, you have to paint it. All this will add to the cost. There is one another downside to buying the properties. The properties will lock up a big amount of money. Tomorrow you suddenly need this money. You cannot dispose of this property at the market rates. The illiquid nature of property is something that you should always think before you buy into the properties.